I'm Michelle Clark, and I'm an independent Jamberry Nails consultant. Today I'm going to be taking you through the steps of application and removal of Jamberry nail shields. Just to give you a little history on Jamberry nails, they are vinyl nail adhesive that's activated with heat. They last 2 weeks on the fingers and up to 6 weeks on the toenail. Just recently, Jamberry Nails has made a few improvements to the nail shields. They were always easy to apply and remove, but they've made things just a little bit easier. So I want to take you through those tips today on applying the brand new shield. So we're going to start with prepping your nail. First, you want to remove any existing nail polish with nail polish remover. You want to use a clear nail polish remover, not pink or purple, because those add moisturizers to your nails. So a clear nail polish remover is the first step. Second step is washing your nail with a Dawn dish soap. This will remove any oils from the nails, and people that tend to have oilier nails should use this step. I use this step even though my nails aren't oily, just to make sure that the shield adheres. Next step is to clean the nail with rubbing alcohol. That's going to remove any debris from the nail itself. So I'll be applying two different nails today, one using a ceramic space heater and one using a rice bag, so that you can see the two different ways to apply the Jamberry nail shield. So I've cleaned the nail with rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to let that dry. I want to show you the new nail shields. The nail shields used to be on white backing. They've since then put them on clear backing, which makes them easier to size. So I can just take the nail shield and I can put my nail underneath the nail shield, and I can quickly see which shield fits each nail. What you're looking for when sizing is for the shield to go side to side. You don't want it to be on the cuticle, you don't want it to be on the skin. You want a watertight seal with the nail itself. So if anything, you want to be a little bit short on each side on your Jamberry nail. So this one's going to fit my index finger. So I'm going to cut around it. Now the instructions say to cut the shield in half, and depending on the length of your nail, you may need to cut that in half. If you have shorter nails, you may be able to cut down a little bit on the shield and leave this middle part that you could recycle and use on a toenail or on a child's nail. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the shield in half and double check that I've got it correct on the correct nail. And as you use these more, you'll be able to determine very quickly which nail it goes on. So on this first one, we're going to use the ceramic heater. I'm going to peel the shield away from the backing. These little ceramic heaters are very easy to use. You could use a hairdryer as your heat source in place of the ceramic heater. I like the ceramic heater because then I've got my hands free to work with those. You can pick those up at most stores for about $13 or $14. So I'm going to hold the nail shield from the edge that will be cut, or the squared off edge. The rounded edge is going to go down, and I'm going to hold it in front of the heat. Now it used to be that you would have to hold them here for 10 to 20 seconds until they got nice and flexible. You're going to see that now with this little bit thinner material that they're using, in a split second the shield starts to become flexible so that I can place it. So it takes very little heat now to heat these up. I'm then going to take the nail shield and I'm going to go in front of my cuticle. I don't want to be on the cuticle. I'm going to go right in front of the cuticle and I'm going to place the nail. Now the nice thing about these, if you don't get it straight, you can pick it up and you can move that and not have to worry about it sticking completely to your finger. Until you get it in place and heat it again, it's not going to be stuck down. So now that I've got it stuck down, you can see I've got an extra tip. I leave a little bit extra at times so that when I put it back in front of the heat, I can pull on that tip. So I'm going to put it back in front of the heat, and I'm going to grab hold of that tip and I'm going to pull and stretch so that you can see that it kind of shrink wraps down to your nail. And you'll see that you can get the edge of the nail apparent by doing this. Plus, if there's any bubbles or wrinkles in the nail, this is going to pull those out. So I heat it a little bit more and pull on that edge. Now I'm going to let this nail cool because you don't want to cut them or trim them down when they're warm because they'll get a little bit sticky. So I'm going to let this one cool and I'm going to move to the other finger. Now on this side I'm going to use the rice bag technique. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently than the other one. I'm going to peel the backing off, and without using any heat at all, I'm going to adhere the shield to the nail, just like before, going in front of my cuticle and just kind of giving a press. Now with this one, I'm going to take my rice bag, and my rice bag is a cotton sock filled with cooking rice, not minute rice, uncooked rice. And I heated this in the microwave for about 30 seconds, and I'm just going to take and press the rice bag down over my finger with that extra tip there, and you can see it's going to shrink wrap down, and it'll allow me to kind of pull on the nail and stretch out any wrinkles that are there. Again, either of these techniques work. I find that I use the rice bag on my toes more because it's a little bit easier than trying to get my finger, and you can see how it completely shrunk to my fingernail. But it's a little bit easier to use the rice bag on your toes instead of trying to get your toes up to the heater. So again, I'm going to let this cool, and I will eventually be trimming this one off as well. I'm going to go back to the other nail, and I'm going to take fingernail clippers, and I'm going to trim off the excess nail shield. I'm going to go right up to the edge of my nail. Just follow the existing nail. Some people even like to take a little bit of the nail off to make sure you're right up to the edge. And if I have any excess, if I can't get to those little pieces, we can file as well. It's fine to file the shield. And I just kind of check to see that I'm at all the edges, and I'm going to go ahead and take a file and quickly go over the edge. If there's any extra on the nail itself, it will peel right off. Make sure it's nice and smooth so I don't have any edges. The nice thing about this new, a little bit thinner material is you feel them even less on your nails, and they do just melt right down to your nails. You shouldn't get any lifting as long as you've got it adhered actually to the nail, and you won't really notice that there's anything on your nail at all. So I just give it a little bit of a heat just to make sure I've got that tip sealed down that I had since I went and filed it again. I'm going to go back to the other nail and do the same thing. And you can use scissors to trim, but I just find the nail clippers work a little bit easier because you can get right up to the edge of the nail. So trim that one away as well. And I can take my rice bag and press down on that again to make sure I've got it sealed. Again, going to take the file to it quickly just to make sure I've got the edges all cleared off. And you want, when you file, you want to go straight down. You don't want to go up and down because you'll be lifting the shield up if you go up and down. And press it in the rice bag one more time just to make sure I've got every bit pressed down. And there's the two finished nails. Now, we need to talk about removal as well. A couple different ways to remove the nail shields. You want to use heat to activate the adhesive again. So what I tend to do with mine is get my heater back out, put my nail in front of the heater, take another fingernail and break the seal at the cuticle, kind of pry up at that edge a little bit, let the heat get underneath, and then very slowly pull the shield away from the nail. You don't want to rip it off without using any heat, and you don't want to rip it off too quickly because the adhesive is so strong that it will damage the top of the nail. So that's one technique that you can use. Also, I found that if I run these under warm water and do the same thing, break the seal at the cuticle edge, let the water get underneath, and gradually peel it off, that works well. And then other people have said that if you soak it in clear acetone, that the shield will come off that way as well. So those are three ways to remove. Find the technique that works best for you, but I think you'll find that they come off very easily as well as putting them on easily now with these improvements. If you're interested in ordering more Jamberry nails, you can go to my website, which you'll find at the end of this video. If you have any questions, you can contact me at that website, and I hope that these were helpful tips to applying the new improved Jamberry nail.